And it occurs to me that even though touring must just take all the energy out of you, and it's so hard and everything, it also probably opens up this whole new host of experiences that you could write about, which is why we do often get the second album or the third album from an artist that is very much about the touring life and the touring experiences. But it must be, you know, fairly new world has opened up for you, right?
In a way, but then really the reality is we're just still in a van all day long. Okay. And then you pull up and then you get dressed in the bathroom or something and you look for something to eat. No, it's been incredible because now we're getting a chance to do what we want for money, you know. We're just starting to navigate what that really means, though, as far as the rest of our lives and the sacrifices, but then the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Having
to bid adieu to loved ones and friends and relatives for long periods of time and live in a van with the boys.
That's true.
but those of us who've never done it and never will do it want to believe that it's glamorous. So
yeah, well then I'll stop talking about it and you can continue on. Yeah.
I read an interesting story about, you know, speaking of how personal experiences can kind of influence your writing. I read an interesting anecdote about what inspired you to write Swimming Pools. And much of the album is, you know, a lot of reviewers have commented on the kind of, you know, girl forward power or whatever messages in some of the songs. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you actually were inspired to write Swimming Pools by a kind of gross incident that you bore witness to.
That's what's funny is that I remember doing that interview, I think that I was misquoted, but you're referring to a wet t-shirt contest.
Yes.
Which I have witnessed one before, yes, and it was gross, yes. But actually, Swimming Pools, thanks for that accent, I like that. Do that for every joke I make. The Swimming Pools actually is a more positive idea than that denotes, I think, because it's sort of just a tribute to the women that I grew up with and the women that I know now, and, you know, my mom and my grandmother and whatever, the strength of these women that have made it possible for us to grow up a little bit easier, and then what we can do for the younger generations of little girls so that they don't have to, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe wet t-shirt contests will always
be around. Yeah.
Maybe the worst part about that whole thing that bummed me out the most is I didn't win. And it's totally killer because I tried super hard. And, you know, I brought my own water and stuff. And I had my own person splashing me with it, and I still couldn't win. So
you had your entourage pouring buckets of water onto you.
Yeah, I had a hose.
Well, it's nicer to think then that it comes, though, from a positive place and not from a negative reaction. And you know, our mothers sacrifice a lot for us, and I'm sure you sort of feel the same. Actually, I read that you feel like your mother's a very powerful figure in your life, and that she kind of was a superwoman and
definitely,
and
she's
pulling
incredible.
It all together.
Yeah, and she's been so supportive of us and gives anything she can for it.
Well, thank you again, guys, for making the trip up here and spending your day off with us. We really do appreciate seeing you. Sure, and it sounds like, let's see, if you're in studio in January, there might even be a new album next summer. Is that right?
I think the release is for September is the plan. Okay. So next fall.
Okay. Well, you know, when you're touring again on the next album, we'd love to see you. And thanks again for coming in. And could you leave us with Swimming Pools?
Sure.
We would love that.
Yeah. Let me pour this water on myself. Thanks for having us.